Hi, and welcome to Heather's Happy Stitches. I'm Heather. Today we will be making a drawstring bag or dice bag. We will go over the flat bottom, the drawstring holes, the drawstring itself, and then how to thread it. And at the end of the tutorial, I will be showing you how to sew on a applique. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so as always, the project will need a crochet hook. This is a 4.5 millimeter, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and a stitch marker. And this is a Red Heart Super Saver blue worsted weight yarn. And then to start, we are going to make a magic ring and put your working yarn across your palm in between your ring and middle finger, and then we're just going to wrap it around our ring and our middle and pointer finger twice. It'll look something like this, and we're going to leave a space between our fingers. It doesn't necessarily have to be that wide. We're going to take our crochet hook, go under the first loop, grab hold of the yarn that's attached to your ball, bring it up and twist so that your hook is pointed up, and then you're going to grab hold of the yarn that's attached to the ball and pull it through to make a slip stitch. And that's your magic ring. So to start, we're going to half double crochet 8 times into the ring. So that's 1, 2, not a very good start. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, and then go through all 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now we're just going to tighten up the ring. So all you need to do is pull the one that's not attached to your work and pull it tight. When we get a little farther in, we will work this into the bag. And since we are working in a continuous round, we're not going to slip stitch in, we're just going to continue on. So we're going to increase in each stitch, and that's 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. So that's 1, and then I'm going to mark it with my stitch marker. 2, and then into the next stitch. 1, 2. Next stitch. 1, 2. and 16. Alright, so now we're back at our stitch marker. So for the next round, we're going to half double crochet twice into the first one. So that's 1, and then 2, and then once into the next stitch. So that's going to be our pattern for this round. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around, and you should have 24 when you're finished. So half double crochet twice into this next stitch. Two, and then 1 in the next one. And 2 on the next one. And 1 in the next one. And we'll do that all the way around. And I'll meet you when we get to our last stitch. Alright, so I am just completing my last of my half double crochet, and if you had kept count, you should end on a single half double crochet. So now for round 4, we're going to increase in the next, so that's 2 into the same stitch, 1 and 2, and then mark our first one, and then we're going to put 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and then half double crochet into the next, and that's going to be our pattern: 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 all the way around. So I'll show you again. One, 2, and then 1, and 1. So we're just going to do that all the way around. 2 1 1 2 1 1 all the way around, and at the end you should have 32 stitches. So I'm going to finish that up, and I will meet back up with you when we are ready to do the next round. All right, so that is 32, and if you kept your count correctly, you should have ended with the 2 single half double crochets. And for the next round, we are going to increase into the next and half double crochet into the next 3. So this is 1, 2 into the same stitch, and then 3 single half double crochets into the next 3. This is 1, 2, and 3. And that's our pattern for this round. 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Just like that all the way around. I'll show you again. So that's 2 into the next stitch, and then a single half double crochet into the next 3. That's 2 and 3. Just like that all the way around. And I will see you when we finish this round. So I am just finished up my last stitch, and that should be 40 for those of you keeping count. And you should have ended with the 3 single half double crochets. Alright, so for round 6, we are going to increase in the first one. That's 1 and 2 into the same stitch. And then mark your first stitch. And then we're going to half double crochet into the next 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, and 4. And that's our pattern all the way around. 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. So that's 1, 2, and then 1, 1, 1, and 1. And that's it, all the way around. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. And I will meet you back when we're getting ready to do the next round. Alright, so I'm just finishing up my last one. So that's who's counting is 48. And you know you did it right if you end with the 4 single half double crochets. Now for round 7, we are going to single crochet in the back loop only. So you see here, this is the front loop, this is the back loop, and of the full V. So we're just going to go into this loop here. And the reason we're going into the back loop only is we're going to see how it sits flat here. We're going to encourage the structure to start coming straight up instead of bowling out. So that is the reason we are doing the back loop only. So we're just going to single crochet into the back loop only of all the ones around. You're not going to increase. You're just going to do one in each, back loop only. Alright, so by doing that single row of crochet, you can see that it already wants to bolt. We're going to pop it out so that the right side is facing out. And see, it no longer lies flat. It kind of bowls up and already wants to start coming straight up. And that's our base. And now we're going to start working on the walls. So for round 8, we're just going to half double crochet into each around. So now we're back to both of the stitches of the single crochet. So we're no longer increasing. And we're going to do that, just half double crochet into each around until we get to round 21. So you should start so it should just start coming straight up and not bowling. And I will meet you when I have finished all up to row 22, and then I'll show you the next step. So you can go ahead and pause the video to do your rounds and then resume when you catch up, and I will see you on round 22. Alright, so before we get too much deeper into it, we are going to sew in our end here and then trim it because it's getting in the way. So what we're going to do is punch it in to the circle.
So what we're basically doing is sealing up that hole so that it cannot reopen. Just a little bit more. And we're just going to stitch in a few. Going up this way. And then back this way. And just trim off.
And now our magic ring will not reopen. And our end is secure. So now I'm just going to continue on. Working around. So sadly, my calculation of the yarn that I would need to complete the project was slightly misjudged. I am about to enter row 19 and I am out of yarn. And I do not have a replacement for this particular color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to go into this nice royal blue. And then I'm just going to attach my yarn. It's not too bad of a color change, but it is still a color change. So just going to make a knot here. Make a knot here. And then pull them together. Oh, if I had the right one. And now the yarn is secured to each other. So I'm just going to trim off these excess. And now I don't have to worry about the knot coming loose or having to tie off and re-secure some yarn. So I'm just going to continue on with the slight color change. And I will see you in a few rounds. Alright, so I just finished round 21 and I wanted to show you the color change. It's not very drastic and it almost looks like I did it on purpose to for the threading. So it's not so bad, and the knot is right here. It's barely visible. And it's practically seamless. Okay, so we're going to go back over here and start making the holes for the drawstring. So we're going to half double crochet in the and half double crochet in the next. Then we're going to chain one and skip a stitch here and go into this next one, and we're going to half double crochet in that. And there's our first opening right there. So now we're going to half double crochet, chain one, skip a stitch at the base, chain one, or half double crochet. And that's our pattern. Half double crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, half double crochet into the second. Half double crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, half double crochet. Alright, so now that we're into this first stitch, you should end with the chain 1. And then we're just going to half double crochet once into the first one. So you're going to skip, so you have your 2 half double crochets, your chain 1, and then this should have been your last stitch. So we're going to skip this one and go into the first one of the next round. And just mark it. And then we're going to do 2 more rounds of half double crochet. And when you get to the space, don't go into the actual space, go into the stitch itself. So here's the hole for the stitch. We're just going to go into this one, this right here. You see that? Right there, in that little hole right there. And that's all you do all the way around. Just 2 more rows, or 2 more rounds of half double crochet, remembering to go into the stitch itself and not the hole. On the chain 1 space. And I will meet back up with you when that's finished. Alright, so I just finished round 23 or 24, and I stopped 1 shy of the end because we're going to do a round of slipknot as a border. But I didn't want there to be a dramatic dip in height. So you see how tall this is now? What we're going to do to fix that is we're going to single crochet into the last one of the row. And then start our slip stitch. And you see, so instead of a gigantic step down, it's a gradual downhill. So I'll show you better when I finish the slip stitch. So to slip stitch, we're just going to push through, yarn over, pull through, and then instead of yarning over and pulling through both, we're just going to pull through this one also. And I'm trying to make my slip stitches nice and loose so that there's some give, so that when the drawstring bag opens and closes, the top isn't going to resist so much. And that's it. I will meet up with you when it is time to fasten off. Alright, so that is my last slip stitch. So what I'm going to do is just slip into the first one to hold it nice and together, and then fasten off. And see, because I did that step down when I finished the last row, there isn't a huge dip. It all is all even. So now we're just going to sew this end in. So that is our bag. Now we are going to make our drawstring. So you can either use the same size hook, or you can go a size down to make it slightly tighter, which is what I'm going to do. This is a 4.0 millimeter. We're just going to crochet like we're crocheting a chain. It doesn't necessarily need to be a specific length, just enough to go around the outside twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have a chain of 130 here. This is the number I thought would go around nicely. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick a hole. I'm going to go right here where it steps between the first and last hole. I'm just going to feed it through using my crochet hook to get it through the hole. So let's just pull this one out. Alright, so that's once around. Let's go back this way.
Let's do this side.
And there you go. So 130 did the job admirably. So now I'm just going to make another knot here at the bottom. To help secure the end. And then to help the knots not come out, I'm just going to run them up into the chain just for a few stitches. I'm having no luck today with sewing in. And since this one was the slip knot, there was no need to make a new knot, because that one's not gonna, the slip knot's not gonna go anywhere. Just voila. And now when you pull it taut, to have this nice crinkly effect. And it should hold pretty tight because there are 2 layers. So it won't, the hole in the middle won't be too big. And it will slide open pretty easy, but it still takes a bit of effort to get it open. Alright, so now what I am going to do is the unicorns that I made, or one of the unicorns that I made in the last episode. I'm going to just sew it on just like that, and then I'll do the other one on this side so that they're kind of kissing. So hopefully when I thread this time, it won't fight me. We can only hope. Yay! Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath all of the hair, or the standing out hair, not necessarily the hair on the back here. Just going to find a spot. And pull through. And then pick a spot on the other side. Try and miss as much as the hair as I can. And just come back up through this side. And just like that, I'm going to do that all the way around. And be careful here. See what I did there? If I hadn't been paying attention, I would have sewn them stuck together. So you have to be careful when you're pushing through the back side that you don't catch the other side of your bag.
Oops. Not smart.
Alright, so I got the first one, the head stitched in, and now I'm just going to stitch in the horn using the long thread of gold that we set aside for just this purpose. Yay, first try. And we're just going to sew around the horn like we did the head.
Just to make sure that it stays nice and secure.
So that is one all tied in, or one all sewn in. Let me just trim this off. All right, so I will find a good place for the second one. Maybe right there. And just sew that in and I'll show you when I'm done. All right, and there we have it. Our two unicorns are secured tightly to our bag. And that is our bag. Just like that. And I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.